You won't believe this, but younger women are doing something so unexpected, so quietly, so strategically, that most older men never even notice it. And the craziest part, it's happening right in front of them. If you're an older man watching this, listen very carefully, because while you're trying to figure out what to say, what move to make, how to act, she's already analyzing you on a level you don't even realize. And once you understand what she's silently doing, you'll see why so many men lose her before they even start. Younger women silently studying an older man's behavior is not a small detail. It's the entire foundation of how they decide whether to open the door or close it forever. And the part that keeps men confused is this: she begins observing long before he even realizes she's paying attention. The moment he steps into the room, the moment he speaks, the moment his energy shifts, she's already building a mental picture that he doesn't even know he's giving her. And this is where it gets interesting, because women don't observe the way men observe. Men look at appearance, women look at patterns. Men look at the moment, women look at meaning. She is watching for the little things, the subtle things, your body language, your tone, the way you look at her and the way you look away. And while you might think you're playing it cool or acting neutral, she's already decoding you like a story she's read 1,000 times. Younger women especially, they have a natural intuition mixed with curiosity. When an older man enters their space, they instantly shift into this quiet mode of awareness, not to judge but to understand. They want to see the truth behind the confidence you project. Are you calm or restless? Are you grounded or just pretending to be? Are you someone who knows who he is, or someone who's still trying to prove it? She watches your posture because it tells her about your confidence. She listens to your pauses because they reveal your comfort level. She studies your reactions because that's where your authenticity slips through. And believe me, she sees the things you don't even notice in yourself. Most older men don't realize how loud their silence is. They don't understand how much they communicate even when they say nothing at all. The younger woman is observing not just what you show, but what you try to hide. If you're insecure, she feels it. If you're anxious, she senses it. If you're unsure, it's obvious to her even if you've convinced yourself you're acting confident. And this is why her observation matters. Because it's happening at a level you can't fake. You can't rehearse real confidence. You can't script real presence. You can't hide real insecurity. She sees the man you truly are before you've even decided who you want to be in front of her. But here's what keeps viewers locked in. She doesn't observe to judge you. She observes to understand. If you match the qualities she associates with an older man, women naturally expect maturity, direction, stability. So she watches to see if your behavior aligns with your age, your experience, your claimed confidence. This is why she doesn't rush, why she doesn't interrupt, why she stays quiet at first. Her silence isn't distance, it's data collection. And without you realizing it, you're revealing everything she needs to know. She's studying your consistency, your calmness, your presence. She's deciding whether you're the kind of man she can respect or the kind she'll forget. And by the time you think you're making a move, she has already completed her entire analysis. Younger women testing an older man's emotional maturity through silence and patience is one of the most subtle yet powerful dynamics at play, and most men don't even realize it's happening. They think her quietness means she's unsure, shy, or waiting for him to do something impressive. But that's not what's happening at all. Her silence is a mirror, and she's watching how he behaves when nothing is happening. Because that's when the truth always comes out. When a man isn't performing, when he isn't prepared, when he isn't trying to impress, those are the moments where his real emotional maturity slips through without warning. And you'll see this clearly the moment you pay attention to how she behaves. She gives space not to pull away, but to see how you feel it. She waits not because she's confused, but because she knows patience is the fastest way to reveal a man's emotional state. And this is where so many people underestimate younger women. They don't test by asking questions. They test by observing reactions. They want to see how an older man handles uncertainty, how he behaves when the energy slows down, how he responds when she doesn't immediately validate him. Because an emotionally mature man doesn't panic in stillness. He doesn't rush. He doesn't crumble. He doesn't start overthinking or over-explaining. He remains calm, present, collected. And trust me, she notices that. She watches how your eyes move when there's silence, how your breath changes when she doesn't respond instantly, how your energy shifts when you don't know what she's thinking. And in those tiny, almost invisible reactions, she sees everything she needs to see. Men often think emotional maturity is proven by giving the right answers or saying the right words, but young women are reading something much deeper. Your emotional regulation. She's paying attention to whether you get irritated when things don't go your way, whether you become insecure if she takes a moment to reply, whether you become anxious if she doesn't give you immediate attention, whether you start chasing validation when she becomes quiet. Every one of those responses tells her what level of emotional control you truly have, and while you might think she's just being slow or passive, she's actually creating a space to see the man behind the facade. What keeps viewers hooked is this simple truth: silence triggers the real version of a man, and she knows that. If you're confident, your calm behavior will reveal it. If you're insecure, your frustration or restlessness will expose it. If you're grounded, you won't rush to fill the silence just to feel in control. Younger women want to see if an older man can hold emotional space without collapsing under it. They want to see if he can handle confusion without becoming emotional. They want to see if he can be patient without becoming passive. And more importantly, they want to see if he can lead from clarity instead of reacting from insecurity. She's not playing games. She's studying emotional maturity at a level most men don't realize they are being tested on. She waits longer. She speaks less. She watches more. Because the older a man is, the more she expects stability, confidence, and self-control. So when silence appears between you, understand this: it's not empty. It's intentional. It's her way of discovering whether you're truly the emotionally mature man your age claims you should be. Younger women judging an older man's self-worth by the way he carries himself is one of the most revealing dynamics, because she doesn't need your words to understand you. She reads your presence. She reads your posture, your walk, your tone, your energy. Before you even say hello, she already has a sense of who you believe you are, and that's exactly why this point is so powerful. Older men often assume younger women are looking at their looks, their income, or their status, but the truth is far more psychological. She is looking at how you hold yourself, because how you carry yourself tells her your entire story without a single sentence. And if you keep listening, this part is where things get even more interesting. Younger women are incredibly sensitive to energy. They can feel insecurity even when it's covered with confidence. They can feel fear even when a man pretends to be calm. They can feel arrogance when a man mistakes it for strength. And this sensitivity doesn't come from age. It comes from instinct. So when she's around an older man, she's paying attention to how he moves through the world. Does he stand tall, or does he shrink into the background? Does he walk like someone who knows his worth, or someone who feels he needs permission to exist? Does he speak with intention, or does he apologize for taking up space? Every detail matters more than you think. This is why she doesn't rely on what you tell her about yourself. She relies on what your body reveals. A man with real self-worth doesn't force confidence. It's in his natural rhythm. He doesn't brag, he doesn't overtalk, he doesn't try too hard to impress. He has this quiet strength that shows in his presence before his words ever arrive. And younger women find that extremely attractive, because self-worth is something you cannot fake. If you have it, she feels it. If you don't, she feels that too. And the more mature you claim to be, the more obvious the gap becomes when your energy doesn't match your image. Here's the part that keeps viewers glued. She's not judging your self-worth based on success, age, or achievements. She's judging it based on alignment. Do your actions, posture, and energy match the confidence you project, or are you trying to perform a role you don't actually believe in? Younger women are excellent at picking up those contradictions. When you talk big but move small, she notices. When you hold strong opinions but speak with hesitation, she notices. When you act confident in public but turn insecure in private moments, she notices. Your body reveals the parts your words try to hide. For her, a man's self-worth is not about being loud, dominant, or flashy. It's about internal stability. It's about the way you handle yourself when no one compliments you, when no one validates you, when no one gives you attention. A high-value older man doesn't need the world to clap for him to feel like a man. He already knows his worth, and she can sense that in the way he enters a room, in the way he speaks, in the way he looks into her eyes without trying to prove anything. Younger women are drawn to that grounded presence because it communicates something far more attractive than age. It communicates emotional security, inner confidence, and a man who truly knows who he is. Younger women studying how an older man reacts under pressure is one of the most defining moments in how they decide whether he is truly the mature, grounded, stable man his age suggests, or just another man who crumbles the second life stops going his way. You have to understand this. Younger women don't just watch how you behave when things are smooth, calm, and controlled. Anyone can look confident when nothing is challenging them. What they really pay attention to is how you respond when something suddenly shifts, when things get uncomfortable, when the moment doesn't go exactly as planned. Because pressure exposes character faster than words ever can, and she knows that better than anyone. If you really want to understand what younger women secretly do while waiting for an older man to act, listen closely, because this part opens the entire truth. She watches your reactions in real time. If something inconveniences you, do you get irritated or do you stay composed? If someone questions you, do you become defensive or do you answer calmly? If a conversation becomes uncomfortable, do you fall silent or do you hold your ground with emotional stability? These aren't small details to her. They are the ultimate indicators of how emotionally safe a man is. Younger women want to feel secure around an older man. And nothing ruins that sense of security faster than seeing him melt under the smallest pressure. When she sees you lose your cool easily, she thinks, if he can't handle this, how will he handle me? How will he handle life? And that thought alone pulls her back instantly. What keeps your viewer locked in is this truth. Pressure moments reveal the level of masculinity you actually operate from. She's not impressed by perfectly planned behavior. She's impressed by authenticity under stress. Sometimes she'll even stay quiet on purpose when a misunderstanding happens just to see how you navigate it. Not as a game, but as a way to see the real you. If she says something unexpected, does your energy shift? If she disagrees with you gently, do you become emotional? If she needs a moment to think, do you become insecure? Your reaction tells her everything about your emotional maturity, and younger women are incredibly sharp in noticing these shifts. Older men often expect younger women to admire their age and experience, but age means nothing if the emotional foundation underneath it is shaky. What she wants to see is steadiness, calm strength, grounded logic, emotional awareness, not impulsiveness, not ego, not frustration disguised as passion. Even the way you handle small disappointments reveals more than you think. If a plan changes last minute and you get flustered, she notices. If someone annoys you and you react aggressively, she notices. If something doesn't go your way and you blame others, she notices. And with every reaction, she builds a silent conclusion about you. The powerful part is this: she's not looking for perfection. She's looking for leadership. She's looking for emotional regulation. She's looking for a man who can remain steady even when circumstances are not. Because younger women know that pressure exposes truth. It reveals your real confidence. It reveals your real patience. It reveals your real emotional depth. And most importantly, it reveals whether you are the kind of man who becomes stronger under tension or the kind who breaks the moment things get uncomfortable. Younger women waiting to see if an older man's intentions actually match his actions is one of the most decisive and revealing filters they use. And most men don't even realize they're being evaluated at this level, because every man talks, every man promises, every man claims he knows what he wants. But younger women aren't listening to what comes out of your mouth. They're watching what you follow through on. They want to know if your words are steady or if they collapse under pressure. They want to see if your actions walk in the same direction as your confidence. And this is exactly where many older men lose without understanding why. So stay with this, because what you're about to understand will change how you see the entire dynamic. Younger women know this simple truth: inconsistency is the fastest way to expose a man's insecurity. When a man says something but does the opposite, he reveals hesitation, fear, or emotional instability. And older men often assume that their age gives them credibility, but younger women don't care about age unless your behavior supports it. If you say you're interested but take no initiative, she notices. If you promise clarity but send mixed signals, she notices. If you talk about emotional maturity but act impulsively or disappear when things get real, she notices. She is quiet, but she is paying attention to every pattern you show, because actions are the only real evidence of intention. What keeps viewers hooked is the fact that she's not evaluating you the way men evaluate attraction. Men ask, "Do I like her?" Women ask, "Can I trust him?" And trust is built through patterns, not charm. So while you think she's simply waiting for you to make a move, she's actually observing how consistent you are with your behavior. Do you show up when you say you will? Do you communicate with clarity or confusion? Do your actions reflect confidence or uncertainty? All of these questions are answered not through conversation, but through your daily choices. A younger woman sees a man's character in his consistency, and she sees his insecurities in his inconsistency. Here's where it gets even more interesting. She doesn't get angry when your actions don't match your words. She simply detaches. She doesn't argue. She doesn't confront. She doesn't demand clarity. She just withdraws silently because your behavior gave her all the clarity she needed. This is the part older men struggle to understand. She doesn't lose interest because she's immature. She loses interest because she recognizes emotional instability. When a man is inconsistent, she knows he doesn't trust himself enough to act with certainty. And if he doesn't trust himself, she can't trust him either. And the most powerful part is this: she waits long enough to give you space to reveal your truth. She doesn't rush judgment. She doesn't assume. She watches. She lets you show your patterns naturally, because patterns don't lie. A confident older man is predictable in the best way. He means what he says. He says what he means. He shows up with intention, not confusion. And younger women find that deeply attractive because it represents safety, emotional grounding, and commitment without the need for theatrics. That's why the real test isn't whether you make a move. It's whether the move you make aligns with the man you claim to be. When you understand what younger women silently observe, everything about the dynamic becomes clearer, and you stop losing opportunities you didn't even know you had. Because the truth is, she isn't judging you harshly. She's just waiting to see the man behind the confidence you project. And if you want to step into that stronger, grounded version of yourself, start paying attention to the signals you send without speaking. If you found these insights eye-opening and want more mind-shifting psychology that actually helps you grow, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for the next deep dive.